Hi, this is Sheila with Stamping Wishes, and welcome to my blog. Today I'm doing a card that is for that will be being sent out to my new demonstrators. It says just for you on the front of it, and then welcome to the team. So I'm really excited to get these out. I have had a few of the girls sign up with me, and yeah, they're going to just love it. I've been with Stampin' Up! Now since about 2001, and it has been such a pleasure being with a company like this. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll show you what stamps we're using, and then we'll go into the cardstock that we're using as well. All right, so this we got when we were in Florida, I believe, at On Stage, and it's Stamping Your Way to the Top, which is a wonderful set for our demonstrators and for those that have a team. So I'm using that. I'm going to use this on the back where it says handmade by your biggest cheerleader. And then on the inside of it is the welcome to the team. So we'll be using those two stamps. And then from this one, we're just going to be using this leaf. I wanted that leaf that just kind of barely showed through, but just gave a hint of a leaf going across there. So we'll be using the leaf. In fact, let me go ahead and get it out. Sorry. Can put it on a deal. We'll put it over there for a second. And these are the new Cling stamps. Love them. This is Vibrant Vases. It's a beautiful set. You can see how many different varieties of vases you can make. And it does come with a punch. Let me see if I can find my punch if it's close by, because I didn't use it in this card, but no, it isn't handy to me. But anyway, it does come with the matching punch, and makes it a great stamp set for versatility of either stamping direct or giving it some dimension and bringing those vases up that have been punched out onto another pattern. So anyway, we'll be using a couple of those today. And then as far as our paper and our cardstock, we've got the Blackberry Bliss, which is really a very pretty shade with a lot of different colors. And this one measures 5.5 by 8.5, and we scored at 4.25. Then I have a Very Vanilla piece that will go on the inside, and it's cut at 4 by 5.25. And then I have Petal Pink that will be on the outside, and it's cut at 4 and 5.25. Then I have a strip of the Pear Pizzazz, and I've cut this at 1/2 inch by 5.25. Then I have this luscious new vellum paper that's in our new occasional catalog. It is just gorgeous. Let me see if I've got it right here so I can show you. It's this one called Floral Romance Specialty Designer Paper. It's on page 11. If you haven't gotten this, it is, oh my gosh, gorgeous. So you've got to get you some of that. So we're using that, and that one is cut at 2 3/4 by 3.25. And then we have two of our rectangle framelets, and they come in this gorgeous set of so many different sizes and shapes that you can mat and do so many different frame effects with cards. But I used the third one out, which is for the Very Vanilla, and then for the Blackberry Bliss is the fourth one out. So those are the sizes I used on that. And they actually measure, this one is 2 3/16 by 3.5, and this one is 2.5 by 3 7/8. So that kind of gives you an idea of the size of it. So let's go ahead and get our card going. I did make me a couple of little bows ahead of time. I'll show you those. Since they're so tiny, I worked with them off screen because it would have taken me forever probably on the screen, because I was trying to get them to a certain size for the bases. This was a page I had left over from my old basic pearls when we had some of the smaller ones in these little rows connected, but I went ahead and wanted to use them up. So I used my Blackberry Bliss dark and light to do the pearls, which will go inside the flowers. On this other one, I had used the faceted dots, and I used the lighter shade, and I just wanted to try something a little different that might pop and be a little bit smaller. These were a little bit overbearing, I thought, for the size of the flower, so we want to do that. And we're going to be using dimensionals, and the ribbon I used was All My Love. It's a ribbon combo that you'll find in the New Occasional catalog, and so that's what I love, this little small ribbon like this. I wish I had some in every color of our cardstock. I just love working with that. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started here. We're going to go ahead and fold our card in half. And if you were scoring, then you would be doing this at 4 1/4. We'll burnish it real good. Okay, and since we're going to be having it come this way, let's go ahead and flip it over on the back. And we're going to go ahead and put our stamp on the back of the card here. And let's just use this one here. I'll take that off. And I'm going to go color on color, so it'll kind of look like a watermark on the back, but it'll show up for the card and everything. So looks like we got it. Let's go ahead and put it down here. All right, so that's stamped on there, and I don't know if you can see that, but gorgeous. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean this off and put it off to the side. And let's go ahead and we'll put a few of our layers on just to kind of move them out of the way. Or we could go ahead, let's stamp first, and that way it has time to dry a little bit on the stamping, and I won't mess them up handling them that way. Okay, I'm going to bring out my Stamparatus, I love my Stamparatus. Going to bring my inside card piece right here. And I've already marked with my highlighter where I want the card to go. So I'm going to just go ahead and block it in there. And we will take our Blackberry Bliss and ink up our stamp here. And the nice thing about using a Stamparatus like this is if I don't get it dark enough the first time around, then I get a second or third or as many as I need to. Again, you want to put a good little press. I do not have the black. This comes with your Stamparatus. I don't have that in there. That's used for your photopolymer stamps. And since I'm using a cling stamp, I don't need it. Perfect. Love the brightness of it. I think we've got a good match there. So let's go ahead and close this up for right now. We'll be using it in a little bit. And clean the stamp off and take this off and let it just sit off and dry for a little while until we're ready for it. I'll put it in there. Now let's go ahead and get out this one, and we might as well, let me bring a scrap over. I'm going to take and sponge the edges a little bit with the Mossy Meadow. And get my dauber out. I always like to daub off first and then bring it on. That way I don't get a big blob of color. I want a kind of a soft, subtle effect around the edges. I don't want anything too deep. So I always start off to your outside, and I'm just bringing it around. So since I'm making this card for some of my new team members and stuff, let's kind of talk about that. Right now is one of the best times that you could be signing up to be a demonstrator. If nothing more than if you just want to save a discount and get the fabulous offers that they're having right now. A demonstrator that signs up has two options this time. One of them would be to sign up for $99, and for $99 you're going to get $175 of merchandise that you can pick out for your starter kit out of any of the catalogs that we're doing, the occasional and the yearly catalog. The Celebrations catalog, those are free items, so you have to purchase stamps in order to qualify for those. But the second option which is one of my favorites, and I think anybody that went into this would just absolutely love it. It comes with this bag. We got them, I ordered them when we were able to pre-order them as demonstrators, and the bag is a beautifully designed bag that will hold all of our equipment when we're traveling, like our trimmer and our we've got bags now for our Stamparatus, but it will also fit inside the larger bag as well. And so you get that plus $175. And it's like, why not, right? You know, because here you're getting all of this merchandise. $50 in the bag is valued bag, $175 of stamps of your choice, and then on top of that, your discounts for purchasing. So if you're considering it, yes, right now is definitely the time. I would love to have you on my team. So if you are considering it, if you look at my blog, I have an area that says contact me. So go ahead and contact me, and I'll be glad to walk you through and discuss it further with you, all right? So let's go ahead and stamp our pieces here. We're going to use our Memento Black for our little bases here. I tell you what, before we do the base, though, I'll stamp that up in a second. I did this earlier, is I like to stamp my Just For You first, because that way it gives me the balance of where I need to be with my bases. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make sure I've got it nice and dark, because I'm not using the Stamparatus, so I've only got my one time to get this right. So let's hope I get it in the center where I need it. And hold it like perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Just the right color and everything. So we got that one done. And we'll be using this in a second, but let's put it away now. And when I use the dark colors like this, because it's so easy when you're opening and closing a case, I like to keep wiping my hands. My sister got me some really nice little sleeves that I'm trying to think, I think it's Stamping Smiles sells on her web, but they're little sleeves, and I would have them on tonight, but I have these rags, so I'm using that. So Deanna, if you're watching this, know that I'm thinking of you. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm using the black Memento to do my bases, and so we're going to see if I can do this without getting my head in the screen. I probably just did then. I normally stand when I'm stamping, but yesterday I had my stamping groups. I have 2 clubs on one Friday a month right now, and hoping to expand them to a couple of Fridays. But anyway, I stood all day yesterday, and we have tile floors, and started at 8 o'clock in the morning and ended around 9:30. So between the 2 club meets, my back just really kind of went out. So I'm trying to sit today, and it's the first time I filmed sitting since my new setup with my camera and stuff that my husband had done for me. So we'll see how this goes, because like I said, I have not sat down and filmed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do the flowers next. And I decided this met the kind of a little bit of the design of the type of flowers that are being used over there in the designer paper. So that's what I wanted to use. And I'm going to go ahead and use the masking technique. I've already pre-cut using a Post-it note. I stamped and pre-cut these little vases out. In fact, I went ahead while I was doing it and did all the vases, because I plan on using this stamp set quite a bit. I really like it. And so I'm going to come in here to put my flowers and line them up probably about right here, and press down and hold. And I'm using the Blackberry Bliss. That way I've already got the base color of my flowers going, and see how nicely that's stamped in there. So I'll go ahead and put this down here. And if your Post-it note begins to lose its stickiness, you can go with that repositioning adhesive that's non-permanent, and go ahead and use that to make it tack again. This past classes, we did that on some of the masking that we were doing with the rooster. That's another set. I'll be doing that card on film here in the next day or so, but it's super, super cute. So anyway, we got that done. So let's go ahead. I've got my markers here, and we're going to use our Blackberry Bliss and our 2 shades of the pink petal. That was what they are. And here is my, I'm going to go with my dark one because I want to do, to help me remind what color the flowers are. I'm going to do this one with the light, this one with the light, and this one with the light. So those two will be dark. And the same thing here, I'm going to go ahead and go with this one as being my dark, or my light, I'm sorry, opposite. And then I want this one here. Okay. And even though I'm going to put jewels over it, it's just for me to be able to recognize the colors I need to come back with. So let me go ahead and put some of my pink in the opposite ones here. Okay. And then I'm going to use my light Blackberry Bliss, and I'm going to go over the petals that have the light center and go around this real quickly here. This is really a fun, easy, quick card. And they would make good anniversary cards as well for your demonstrators, for those that are watching that are demonstrators, because depending on how many years your demonstrator has been with you, you could fix your card and put that many bases. Like say this was one for my 2nd year demonstrators that have been with me, then this would make a good 2-year anniversary card. So just kind of keep little things like that in mind. By these smaller stamps, using multiple ones are nice ways to indicate years and times of an anniversary or a celebration. So, all right. I'm going to probably speed up through this coloring. I don't think you need to sit and watch me color all that. I may slow it down a little bit when I get to the bases. The lighter Blackberry Bliss in the diamond shape, but I kind of like the look of this one, so I'm going to leave it like it is, and we'll move on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our colors out of the way here, and we can start assembling our card now, and we'll do the finishing touches after we get the card assembled. So let's bring our card back in, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere my inside to the inside of my card. So let's go ahead and get a little bit. When you're using your Tombow glue, be sure and just use small amounts of it. Is just as long as you get it all over. It holds very nicely, and it gives you those extra couple of minutes to move it around to make sure you get it spaced on your card as evenly as you can. Okay, very nice. So let's go ahead. I'm going to burnish this one more time just to bring it down some. Let's take our next layer and put it on. And let's flip it over. And there we go. That looks good. Let's go ahead and put this on next. Let's make sure we get some down at the very ends there. Okay, let's leave just a little bit of the pink showing out at the bottom. So there we go. Okay, so next is our vellum, and on that I'm going to go ahead, because we do have the print, I'm going to use the print. Let's see which, yeah, this is the front side. I'm going to use to camouflage the glue dots here. I'm using the leaves and the flowers on the corners is about all we really need. That'll hold the paper down nicely. So let's go ahead and put one here, and our last one right over in this corner here. And so now we want to lay this on about there. Looks good. Okay, let's go ahead and put that down. Now let's go ahead and adhere this to our matting. We're just about done here. We'll put some dimensionals on the back and add our bling, and then we'll be done. Okay, let's go ahead and put us a few dimensionals here. And let's do one of the very center. Whenever you pinch down a little bit with your nail, it does lift them and helps them to come off a little bit better. I had used some gel polish on my nails, believe it or not, back in November, and it just really messed them up. So no more gel polish for me. It just messed my nails up. So let's go ahead and I want to see some of that beautiful vellum, so I want to put this over as far as I can get it there. Okay, nice offset. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and let's get my piercing tool here. I see that I've still got a few little dots left from my time that my jewels were on there, so I'm going to use them from my little bows there. Stick the little bows on. Isn't that precious? I just think it adds so much to those vases and reminds me of a real floral arrangement when they've been sent with the beautiful ribbon that they usually send them with, and gorgeous vases. So that's what it kind of reminds me of. All right, so now let's go ahead and put our little centers of pearls. This one goes with the dark. And here's another dark. Aren't those gorgeous on there? It just really makes those flowers pop. And then we'll go with the lighter shades here. And then let's throw a little bit of our Wink of Stella on here to finish things up. And what I like to do is where I've done my shadowing in here, that's where I like to shimmer it on the vase, because it catches the light nicer and really accents that shadow. So that's where I like to put that. And the reason I'm wiping this off on my hand like I am is sometimes if the ink is still a little bit damp, you can blend, it starts blending some of your colors together. Like this is a little bit from the dark to the, I should have gone from light to dark. But this will add that little sparkle to those flowers. And if a little bit of the color gets on it, it's really kind of a shadowing and accent effect. So I think it adds to it instead of distracts from it. So it's really pretty. All right, so we've got our card. And again, this is a card that I'm making for the new members of my stamping team, which we're called Glitter Gems. And so if you are interested in joining my team, I would love to have you. So yeah, so until next time, happy stamping and God bless.